Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
Just about to drink this bottle of xenoestrogen hormone disruptor.
Well, after I think the muscle milk you had before, like, coats your stomach, and that prevents any of that stuff from absorbing. All the protein, the amino acids, it's like a buffer, you know?
That's some good bro science. Thank you. That makes me feel better.
I just made it up. Made it up right there. But I think it's true.
Guess how much these cost?
And for anyone who's not watching, it's a Kirkland water bottle. Just how much does a single one cost?
Price per unit when you purchase these?
7 cents.
10 cents.
Oh, I was so close, man. Come on, that was good. You look disappointed that I was pretty close. Oh, because I did the thing where I underguessed it.
Yeah.
It's
you're underslept, so you're a J. Hey,
it.
No, yeah. I wanted an accurate guess. That was pretty good. But a 40 pack for $4? That just seems outrageous.
Is that too much? Do you think it's too much for that water, or it's not enough?
$4 for 40 bottles of water?
It seems like it's such a great deal.
A bottle of water at the airport is $5 for one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's incredible.
Yeah, but you thought 7 cents. You thought it should have been priced at like $2.90 per instead of $4 per.
Well, you made it sound like it was super, super inexpensive. So I was like, all right, well, and I'm not thinking that far out with the math. I just was like, I don't know. I didn't think like, okay, 40 bottles. Like, I don't even think you said that. I was just like, I just guessed. Sort of just threw it out there.
How excited are you for the start of the NFL season?
Bro, I don't think I've ever been less excited for the start of the NFL.
Tonight is the first game of the NFL season.
Oh, is the preseason over?
Yep, the preseason's over.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That's awesome. My feed gets zero football. Like I don't even know preseason was going on. I have no clue when the season starts. It's news to me. You must be stoked though. That's exciting.
We're all stoked, Jordan. We're all stoked. It's time to get you on board with the Patriots this year. They're going to have their worst team in decades, and I think this is where you need to come in as a Patriots fan.
Even if I wanted to, I don't think I could.
I think you could.
I don't know. I mean, how do you think the Vikings are going to do this year?
Not good. Not good, unfortunately. But the NFL is such a good product that even when your team is bad, it's still very entertaining with,
So you like it even when you're mad about your team?
Yeah. You got a fantasy league, you got a text thread going, they're increasing the number of nationally televised games per week, like slowly year over year, right? And just taking over other sports. If you look at it was either 2022 or 2023 national most watched events, and like 91 of the top 100 for the year were from the NFL.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm really in the minority on this one. That's crazy.
It was like State of the Union. There was like one or two other sporting events. And then it was just like random NFL game, NFL playoff game, Super Bowl, random NFL playoff game, random Monday Night Football game,
random games, not even like huge games. That's crazy. Well, when you go to a game, like not necessarily at the game, but when you're watching a game, do you get pissed when people talk to you? You're like, hey, I'm watching the game, don't talk to me? Or are you more like, is it a mix of the two? What kind of viewer are you?
I don't go to a lot of football games.
No, even when you're watching on TV with your family and stuff.
Yeah, if I'm watching on TV and the Vikings are playing, I'm not trying to like have conversations. No.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I want to watch the game.
Yeah. What if it's another team?
I don't care. Then I'm just hanging out.
Unless it's like Super Bowl or something, then you really want to watch the game.
No, I'm still just hanging out.
Got it. Okay.
Enjoying the company. Yeah. I can't even tell you, this chair that I'm sitting in broke. I was doing T-spine extensions over it, and apparently it can't handle that. And I'm going to have to kneel for this podcast. It's unbelievably
broke it doing the T-spine extensions.
Apparently it's not.
Did you fall out?
No, I don't even know what happened, but the back support now isn't there. And it just, when I lean back, the whole chair leans back. So,
did it make a noise when you broke it? It was like,
yeah, it made a little crack, like something cracked in there. I don't even know what it's made out of, but yeah, these Wayfair chairs. It's a negative advertisement. All right, Jordan's not excited for the start of the NFL season. Are you excited
that's not news. You knew I wasn't going to be excited for that. That's like the least surprising thing in your life.
Gordon Ryan versus Craig Jones. That'll be sweet.
Yeah, if that happens.
I just made it up. I don't know.
and way fewer people are excited about that. Guarantee like 99% of the people listening are like, I don't know who either of those people are. But the very small percentage who do are going to be like, oh, that's a real head nod. They like that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Craig Jones leg locks. I mean, leg locks might not be the best in a street fight, but in a jiu-jitsu match, impressive.
Super impressive.
This is the equivalent of Jordan being like a punt return touchdown is really cool when it happens.
Bro, it is super impressive when that happens. I think it's super fun to watch. You know what I think is really fun to watch is an onside kick recovery. But I think they changed the rules in the last year or two to make it more difficult. Is that correct? Or easier to make that happen? Which one was it?
More difficult.
Which is annoying because it's already difficult enough.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A few years ago, they changed the rule so that you had to have like certain number of players on both sides of the ball. Because I'm pretty sure you used to be able to put all 10 guys on one side of the ball, or maybe 9 on one side and only 1 on the other. Then you have the kicker. But they made it so you limited the number of people on each side of the ball. And now, that was a few years back. Now I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I think in this past offseason, so implemented for this year, there's a new rule. Like you can only do an onside kick in certain situations. You can't do it any time during the game. Yeah.
It's a dumb rule from someone who doesn't really understand football that well, but understands it enough.
The NFL has been taking measures over the last at least 10 years, if not longer, to improve player safety.
The NFL's corrupt. They're bought and paid for, Come on.
Yeah, hey, look, with all the CTE stuff and like these running backs who are in their 50s and 60s and their brains are just mush, like I understand the effort to make the game safer while keeping it entertaining and keeping the spirit of the game.
Completely agree. Player safety, I think, is paramount important.
Okay, now you're just saying things. I get it now.
No, I agree with that. There's. I don't think anyone can. I actually do see people in comments who are like against that. They're like, they get to decide if they want to play or not. It's like, yeah, but like if that's like their main thing and they're being offered millions and millions of dollars and it could set their family up forever, like they're going to, and often when you're in your 20s and 30s, like you don't understand what that means, that by the time you're 50s, you've got this mental degeneration or cognitive degeneration. Like you don't fully understand it. So yeah, they have the freedom to choose not to do it, but it's like, if we can make them safer, why not?
I agree with you. Although even like Brady has come out and been like, some of these rules protecting the quarterback especially or even like protecting receivers are taking away from the game.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, anytime there's another rule in place, it takes away some aspect. And that's just not even football. That's in life. When there's another rule, another law, there's a certain level of freedom that's taken away.
It's a good high level meta point you're drawing out of this. I like that.
It's just like, but sometimes, we're not like truly free, because sometimes we have to give up freedom in order for some level of safety or civil obedience.
There are consequences to actions.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Like you can do pretty much whatever you want, but there may be consequences.
Correct. Yeah.
Whereas other people would make a real argument that we don't have any freedom whatsoever, like that free will doesn't exist, which I disagree with.
That one doesn't make sense to me.
No, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
We're not talking Sam Harris. We're not doing that right now.
You wanna talk about and we can bleep his name?
I did not expect you to go down that route. Yeah, let's do it. We'll bleep his name out so no one heard what you just said. But yeah, what do you have to say about that?
I don't have anything. I thought maybe you'd have something to say about that.
Oh, I didn't expect you to talk about that at all. There was a guy who's in our mentorship, the fitness business mentorship, who's fantastic. He's been for years now.
He's a beast.
And he told us, wow, it must have been like a year ago or so, that he ended up joining another guru mastermind course for like $10,000. And he was like, yeah, I've got some friends who are in it, and they said I should try it. And he just made a post about it yesterday. He didn't name the guru mastermind course. He didn't name, actually I thought was really smart. You don't want to burn a bridge. You don't want to call someone out like that. But basically he was like, I got. I went into this program. I paid $10,000 for it. The marketing, the advertising for it sort of roped me in. And he was like, and it was just an absolute waste of money. But he did have some good takeaways, just basically being like, listen, no one has all the answers, and no matter what, you're still going to have to put in the work, no matter what. So it's, yeah. And I thought he handled it really well. I was actually DMing him about it earlier today and last night, just about his post and the feedback to it and all of that. But he's a great guy, and he's listening. He knows exactly that we're talking about him right now.
Shut up, brother. Yeah. I thought it was a really good post as well. You sent it to me. Was that yesterday morning, I think?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just classy, not to create drama or negativity or name drop or anything like that, but really to just extract, really making it more fitness related and bringing it to his audience in a way that could help them, which was cool.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think I've talked about this a decent amount on the podcast over the years, how infrequently I weigh myself, just out of a lack of necessity, a lack of specific fat loss or like real intense body comp related goals. And I just know, right? If I want to dial in a little bit and lose a little fat, I don't need to be weighing in regularly. I can look in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm heavier than I want to be. I have less definition than I want. And then within a number of weeks of dialing it in, without even looking at the scale, I can tell like, okay, I'm visibly leaner, number of weeks / months, depending on how fast I'm trying to do it. But for whatever reason, over the last few weeks, since I've started this casual, like, natty aesthetic era, slow fat loss, not really caring that much, but enjoying the process thing that I'm doing. I'm like, bathroom scale's right there. I've been stepping on it probably every other day. And it's been interesting. I'm down maybe 2 pounds in like,
wow,
over 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah. It's probably been hungry? 3 weeks. No, not at all.
You're not hungry at all. There's zero hunger.
Well, bro, I mean, yeah, I'm hungry in the same way that I'm hungry during a surplus. When it's mealtime, I'm hungry, but there's no deprivation hunger. There's no like I'm in a deficit hunger. And it's not 2 pounds of fat, right? There's, with total intake down, maybe half of it is temporary weight. Maybe I'm down a pound of fat or like 1.25 pounds of fat or something along those lines.
But you're already pretty lean. I know relatively, like for you, it's not much, but you're already lean.
Yeah, compared to the general population, yeah. But it's interesting just jumping on and seeing the number at different times of day and like trying to guess it. It's been fun. It's been fun because it's been a long time since I consistently weighed in.
Is it like giving you more insight as a coach? Or more just like it's fun for you to guess what your weight is going to be?
Fun. It's solidifying everything that I've understood about scale weight since 2000.
20 years ago.
No, but definitely like 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah. That's similar. I've started just tracking my intake, not like not being. Did we talk about this in the podcast last week? I think you and I spoke about it.
We spoke about
on the phone.
Yeah, I don't think it was on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not like deliberately, okay, I need to be in a deficit. I'm more just writing down everything that I eat in my app and just like, okay, I had this. And it's just like, oh, fuck. When you actually write it all down and you've had a period of time where like you weren't being as consistent or you just weren't paying attention to it. And all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's pay attention to it. You start realizing, oh, I'm reaching for this. And I don't need to reach for that. And I would have before and wouldn't have given it a second thought. It makes you very aware of the habits.
And just how much you were underestimating your intake before when not paying attention. Like, I'm probably around 2,500. It's like, oh, that was probably 3,500.
Yeah.
It's late in the day. You're like, or even the afternoon, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm already at 1,800 calories. I would have eaten however much more. Like it just, it gives you perspective no matter how much experience you have.
For that, and also it's just like, man, I could really improve food volume. It's like, it's so easy to choose that low volume, calorie dense, palatable option. Even if it's a relatively healthy option, it's like, okay, I still could do a better job of having more vegetables, more water-based fruits, like more things that are really going to fill you up, as opposed to, all right, fiber. I really don't need to. Yeah, exactly.
Protein, voluminous protein versus protein shake. Dude, I have a great one that I was going to bring up to you and forgot, which is those Yasso bars.
Oh man, so good.
So good, but not good. I stopped buying them.
What? Within the last couple weeks, you're saying the mango is like the greatest thing ever. You love it.
Yep, that's right. And that's not good when you're trying to stay like reasonably. I can't eat one of those. They're 80 calories.
Got it. Okay.
The texture is, they must have 8 figures invested in R&D, because the texture of those things, and I haven't had any flavors besides the mango Yasso bar. It is out of this world. And they're 80 calories a piece. They sell them in a 4-pack. The price per calorie is actually really bad, but I wouldn't even eat PPC, 2 really, because you can rationalize something's 80 calories. You're like, okay, this is 300 for the box. Like, this is nothing. I would just eat a box like it was nothing. Be like, okay, that was a 300 calorie dessert. That's really good. Whereas these like fudge bars, like
fudgsicles,
a fudgesicle,
the 40 calorie ones.
No, it's 100. It's from Costco.
Oh, okay.
The satiety I get off of 100 calorie fudgesicle, which is all carb. It's like but almost no fat, either 0 or 1 fat, but all sugar. Whereas the Yasso have 4 protein, 14 carb or something like that.
Yeah.
The satiety I get off of 100 calories of this, whatever the texture of this cold fudge bar is night and day. Like, I eat one and I feel great and I don't even want any more. Whereas I can eat a box of Yassos and be like, should I drive to the store and buy another box? Like, is that what I'm doing?
Only 80 calories a piece.
Only 80 calories a piece. It's not, I got an hour till bedtime. Like, am I driving to the store right now? So Yassos are out, but these Costco fudgesicles are in a big way.
Dude, fudgesicles are so good. I haven't had them in a long time. You just reminded me that when I was younger, I used to get these like 40 calorie ones.
Okay.
And then I could have 2 or 3 of them. And they were, oh my gosh, they're amazing. Yeah, I need to get those today. I'm going to go out today after the mentorship Q&A. I'm going to get fudgesicles.
Get fudgesicles.
Yeah, those are so good.
But yeah, man, I'm the slow and casual fat loss where you don't have a timeline whatsoever. And so if over the course of a month you don't lose any fat, you don't really care. But over like a 6-month window, you just know directionally, like, it'd be nice to lose 10 pounds of fat is like a fun goal.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's nice too, because I feel like that is more sustainable, more enjoyable. It's not as good from like if you're making content about it on social media, because there's no clear like direction. It's very like ambiguous and we'll see. But I think from a lifestyle perspective, it's actually a really great way about it. And it's hard to get clients on board with that, especially early on. Early on, clients are like, hey, I want to just lose this weight really fast. But I have found that whether it's for myself or for long-term clients who are sort of just like, they're just good and they're just like, yeah, like I know it's going to work. It's just going to take longer. Like it's such a better way to go about it long-term.
Long-term clients, you're 100% right. And people who don't have a ton of body fat to lose.
Yeah.
Right. If you have to lose 50 pounds of body fat to get in a healthy weight range, then saying 10 pounds per 6 months makes 0 sense.
Man, I made a post last night because I'm up late at night and I'm experimenting with social media right now. I made a post at like 12:30, 1 a.m. But basically I'm just experimenting with different types of posts on social media. And I literally wasn't going to eat an ice cream sandwich last night, but I thought of a good hook for a social media post. And I was like, basically the hook was, let's see what happens if ... And so basically like that was like the hook that I was going to play with. And so I was like, all right, let's see what happens if I eat ice cream sandwiches at midnight. And so literally I wasn't going to eat it. I just had no desire to. I was just feeding my daughter, my newborn infant, 3 weeks old. And I was like, you know what? Put her down. Let's give this a shot. So I'm like, all right, let's eat it. Boom. I film it. I'm filming it as I'm eating it. And I end up having these 2 ice cream sandwiches. Each one is like 100. So 200 calories. No big deal. And they're delicious. I make the post, and the reaction to the post is great immediately. Like I have some thoughts on social media right now, but even posting at midnight, 1 a.m., great reaction to the post early on, and it's continuing on today. But there was one woman who commented who basically was like, it's not about calories, it's about the blood sugar response. And so I commented, I just replied, I was like, very nicely, I was like, this time last year, I wore a continuous glucose monitor every day. I deliberately spiked my blood sugar every day. And I lost 14 pounds in 30 days while still eating in a calorie deficit. That's all I said. And then some people came in and they were being mean to her. They were being rude and basically just being like, you're an idiot. Just like really getting on her for it. But then she was like, I'm a general physician or like a GP. Like she's like, I'm a doctor and I know what I'm talking about. And then people really started going after her, basically being like, God, this is so sad. No wonder people don't trust their doctors, da 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 da. And then I saw she unfollowed me. And I was like, man, I understand not wanting to get ganged up on, and I get it. But also it's really sad that, because then there were people in there who were providing research and saying, listen, don't pay attention to these people who are being rude, but like, here are some studies that you can look at. And she just dug her heels in deeper and deeper and deeper, and basically just appealed to authority. I'm a doctor. I know what I'm talking about. I don't need this. Da, da, da. It was actually really sad to see someone who's a doctor and seeing patients and seeing people on a daily basis, basically just completely disregarding the truth and disregarding science and research, and just digging her heels into what she's been taught before, and probably what she's been influenced by on social media, not even necessarily in medical school. Because you don't really learn that much in medical school about nutrition. And speak with many doctors about this. Like, you don't have time in medical school to learn about it. But yeah, it was interesting, and to see, the unfollow, and rather than digging in deeper, it's just, okay, I'm just going to believe this instead. It was very sad.
Very sad, but I would argue the norm in today's discourse. Like, I think more people than not would dig their heels in and like go to a different echo chamber where what they already believe is being professed, rather than be open-minded and willing to have a conversation. Also, just to play devil's advocate, as someone who didn't see this interaction, the way you responded was very reasonable. But if I say something and I'm wrong, and people come after me aggressively and are mean and are disparaging, like, that's not going to make me want to change my mind or be open to change my mind. That's just going to like make me angry and make me want to attack those individuals.
Of course. Yeah. I was disappointed to see a number of people in the comments just immediately ad hominem going after her. I was like, come on, if we want to help someone change their mind, we can't attack them. Let's just be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. Did you DM her?
Not yet. I was thinking about it. I'll probably send her a voice memo and just let her know. I don't agree with how people reacted to her.
Want to fire up questions?
Oh, it was funny yesterday. I was in the gym with my wife in the garage, and she's already back strength training 3 weeks after giving birth, which is just so badass. And every single woman is different. Different births are different. Different recovery times are different. The blanket recommendation that doctors will give a woman after giving birth is you need to wait 6 weeks. This birth was way easier on my wife than the first one. And she feels great. So she actually started strength training at the end of week 2, and very light, but she's strength training. Like, she's moving. She's doing squats and RDLs and all of that, and she feels great. And she was doing squats with the barbell yesterday, and she's like, my knee is hurting. And I didn't say anything. I'm not just going to be like, hey, do this. Like, I know. I'm not just going to be like, hey, change this. Like, I just heard her say, oh, my knee's hurting. I just keep working out. She does another set. Oh, my knee. And she was like, what do you think I should do? And so she finally asked me. I was like, all right, well, I think you should change the bar position. And I think you should change your stance width. And she was like, this is how I always do it. I was like, okay. Another set goes by. My knee. It just hurts. Don't say anything. Another set. My knee. What do you think I should do? I think you should change your bar position and change your stance width. And this is how I've always done it. Okay, I'll try it. Oh my gosh. There's literally no more pain anymore. That's like, this is a real full-on conversation. Mm-hmm. And I posted about it on social media, and people thought it was hilarious, and how it's like, no matter what, like, if whoever you're married to, I had a lot of females messaging me being like, I'm a nurse. Every time my husband is sick, I tell him what he should do, and he doesn't fucking listen. Mm-hmm. It's like, it doesn't matter. But it was interesting. And then a lot of people were asking me like, well, can you give us the advice that you gave her? Because I have knee pain when I squat. And it was interesting. Like, I wanted to post it, but there are so many different reasons why someone could have pain when they're squatting. This was a very technique specific thing. And it was actually funny because her bar position, I felt like, she had a super low bar powerlifting style squat, and her stance was a little bit too wide. And I noticed her knee was caving in. And I also asked her, I said, where is the pain? And she pointed to the inside of her knee. It wasn't on the front of her knee, it was on the inside of her knee. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of people would assume, okay, maybe the bar was too high and her feet were too close together and it was going to the front of her knee. It was the inside, and there was a little bit too much valgus collapse, which isn't inherently bad. But when you haven't strength trained in 4, 5, 6 months, and your hips and pelvis went through all this change, like, there could be real issues there. So I actually brought her stance further in, brought the bar higher up, get a little bit more quad involvement, and have less valgus collapse. And all of a sudden, the knee pain is gone. And I was like, man, people really want that. What's the fix to the knee pain? There's so many different reasons why someone could be having pain.
Yeah. And this was definitely the lesser common of those two instances, because as you were telling that story, I was like, oh, interesting. Like, high bar back squat, like pretty narrow stance. Like, cool that's how she's always squatted. I didn't know that. Because that's the assumption if there's knee pain on a squat. It's like, okay, let's make this more hip dominant, less knee dominant. Yes. Let's go a little bit lower bar position. Let's widen your stance a little bit.
Yes.
Let's get a little bit more of the tension on your posterior chain rather than your quads, and your knees are going to feel better. And if you had to give general advice, which again, obviously, like you just said, isn't going to work for everyone, but if you had to give general advice on knee pain during squatting, that would probably be more useful for more people. But in this instance, it was something different.
Yeah. Yeah. She's always done like a very low bar powerlifting style squat, and she's always gets into the hamstrings.
Not before she met you, or not met you, but not before you.
Yeah.
Before you guys got together?
Yep. Because we initially got together because she was really into strength training, and she had a coach who was like a powerlifting coach. And
did that make you competitive?
With my wife?
No, that she...
With the coach?
Yeah.
Not with that coach, but there have been other coaches where it was funny. Like, when we first moved to this new town that we're in, there's a powerlifting gym. Mm-hmm. And, I love being at home. Mm-hmm. But like you need to get out of the house. My wife, she needs to get out of the house. Mm-hmm. So like before up to about like 6 months pregnant, she was going to this powerlifting gym. Mm-hmm. And it's great. It's an awesome gym. But the first time she went, I was like, I'm going to go with you. I'm just want to, because you see online, like it says like Westside Barbell Equipment, like powerlifting gym. I'm like, I'm going to go and make sure. And I'm not going to say who I am. I'm not going to say any of that. They're not going to know anything about me. And they're definitely not going to know by looking at me, because I don't look like I'm a powerlifter. That's for sure. And so I go in and I'm asking the guy, hey, can you just tell me about your program and how it works? And he's explaining how they do a conjugate style system for like this general population, which I love. I'm like, they take general population, men and women, through conjugate periodization and powerlifting programming. I was like, they do a great job. Like, they do a very, very, very good job. So I got competitive before I knew them. And then once I knew that they were doing a very good job. I wasn't competitive anymore.
And it sounds like more than competitive, you were just looking out for your wife.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that they knew what they were doing. Yeah, and that my wife was safe. Yeah.
All right, questions.
What's the best way to measure body fat?
Autopsy.
Correct. What's the second best way?
I think DEXA's I would have said DEXA by far 5 to 7 years ago, but I feel like DEXA has become overrated as the gold standard in recent years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because hydration status plays a role in lean mass, right? You could do a DEXA, drink 16 ounces of water, do another DEXA, and you're going to have an extra pound of quote unquote muscle. It's really hard to have accurate information that is comparable from scan to scan. So you either, one, need a high frequency of scans so higher sample size means less variance, means you're going to be able to pull averages in a trend line more easily, or you just need to be knowledgeable when analyzing the data and not freaking out if you have 2 scans 6 months apart and you're not seeing what you expected, but your strength is up, the scale is cooperating, your body measurements your waist measurements are cooperating, your clothing, the way they fit is in line with how you feel, and you're making progress on that front. You look better in the mirror. Like if all signs are I'm moving in the direction of my goal, but then your DEXA scan isn't exactly what you would have thought, it could just be that when you had your first DEXA scan, you were in a surplus, you were topped off with glycogen, you were super hydrated. Remember, when you're eating excess carbohydrate, you're storing 3 grams of water per gram of carbohydrate that you're storing, mostly in the muscles, but also a little bit liver, a little bit brain. So you have more temporary scale weight that isn't muscle mass, but is showing up as muscle mass on the DEXA scan. And so if you're in a surplus for one scan, you're in a deficit for another scan, even if it's just 1 month apart, but you're dripping with glycogen compared to fully depleted, you're going to see a big difference in terms of lean tissue on the DEXA scale. Now, I still like it more than a bod pod. I still like it more than, I guess the combination of calipers done by someone who's proficient in calipers plus looking in the mirror. Like I would take Borge Fagerly doing calipers combined with
that's someone's name,
looking at a physique.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's a very well-known strength nutrition coach from somewhere in Europe.
I said it right?
I don't think that was anywhere near correct. I might be wrong.
Borge is his first name. It's either Fagerly or Fagerly. It's F-A... Hang on. Now Jordan's just...
Well, you're saying it like an American. I don't know if that's how
Yeah. B-O-R-G-E is his first name, Borge, I believe. And then F-A-G-E-R-L-I. So I apologize if I mispronounced it to Borge. But I would take him doing calipers plus looking at a physique over a DEXA by itself.
100%. I agree. Most people don't have that. Yeah. And if you're doing calipers,
basically no one.
Yeah, you need the same person doing it, and they need to be really, really good at it. And most people are just not good.
Don't
at all.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to be honest too. That's another aspect of it, where it's like, I don't think people take that into consideration when someone is doing their calipers. Like, not only have to be really good, they have to be really blunt and just like, this is it. Like, not trying to take your feelings into account, not trying to take the cost of their services into account. Because if they're also the one doing your programming, they might also be like, oh, well, maybe it's actually less because I want you to think that you're making progress. Like, I've seen coaches do that where they say like, oh yeah, you've lost like 8 pounds of fat and built 16 pounds of muscle in the last 16 weeks of working together. And people believe it.
Yeah, that's a great point. DEXA is still my number 2. I just don't hold it on the same pedestal. DEXA's, it's really number 1 because autopsy is not realistic, but
correct.
It's just not the complete end all be all. And I still really like waist measurement and scale weight, both taking averages over time as a way to assess progress.
Yeah. I also, do you recommend people, like everyday people, get their body fat taken? Is that something you're like, hey, Sally, John, who are just everyday people, are you like, hey, you need to get your body fat taken?
Definitely not need, right? I'm not requiring it ever. I've had clients express interest in knowing, and I've had clients express interest oftentimes when wanting tangible, measurable goals that aren't just the scale, right? So they're over the phase of like the scale is the end all be all, and I want to look at something else. Strength is a really good place to go on that. So on lifts that they want to be doing, could be big three, could be any exercises. Are you getting stronger over time? But it could also be something like a DEXA where we're measuring body fat and lean tissue over time as well. But no, it's definitely not a requirement.
Yeah. I found getting body fat and lean mass measured can be really great for someone who's got a lot of weight to lose and like is early on in their like newbie gains, like they're building more muscle more quickly, losing fat more quickly. But as someone approaches more of an intermediate, they don't have, I don't know, maybe they've got 20 pounds, 30 pounds to lose of fat and they've already been lifting a couple years. You start measuring body fat and muscle mass, it gets really depressing. It gets, if you're, and never mind like the standard of error that's there. It's like they could be doing everything right. They could have lost a couple pounds of fat, but whatever the reading is, it told them that they might have actually gained a pound of fat and they lost muscle. Like the readings aren't 100% accurate. And with the scale, you can say, hey, there are many different things going on. Like there are so many variables that aren't considered. And so it's easy for it to not get in your head. If you get a reading that tells you, no matter that you've been working super hard the last 12 weeks, and it gives you an incorrect reading, but it tells you that your body fat is up and muscle is down, or that your body fat barely went down and your muscle didn't gain or barely gained, you're like, what the fuck? Like, why am I even doing this? I'm going to get on steroids. Like,
or quit, or go the opposite direction. I'm done lifting. This doesn't work.
This is stupid. This is my genetics. It's my age. Like, it just doesn't work. This program doesn't work. Whatever. Yeah.
That's an amazing point. It can be very discouraging, which is why I'm never the one forcing it upon a client. If a client expresses interest, I will support it, but I'll support it on the back end of bluntly and objectively laying out expectations properly. Okay, you've been training for this long. Here is research that shows that the expected rate of muscle gain per year for someone in, male versus female, how many years of like proper training experience, you can expect to gain about this much muscle per year, which is much less than you're expecting, which is this much per month. Like really setting proper expectations is necessary if you're going to do that, because like you said, it can be extremely discouraging, especially when you factor in the margin of safety or the margin of error.
Just struggling. I'm burnt out from my job and I want a career change. I'm feeling stuck.
I love it. Might be a little too vague, but I love it.
Love it. Feeling stuck. Love it.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity.
That's all you want to say?
I don't think we can say more without context. How old are you? What are your responsibilities? Do you have a family? What are your financial responsibilities? What is a career? How long have you been doing it? How long have you felt stuck? Like, are there other factors that could be contributing to this? I don't have enough context. I might just end up giving bad advice.
No. I mean, here, what's really cool? We live in literally the only time that this has ever happened, in the only time in the history of the entire world in which you could start a business from your phone.
True.
Like, you could start a business without having to leave your job.
True.
You could start your own business without having to leave your current job. You could start a business without having to even tell anyone that you're starting a business. There are like faceless, nameless social media accounts, businesses. Now, I'm not saying it's easy at all. It is insanely difficult, but it has never been easier and more accessible to start something, to start your own business, your own venture from the palm of your hand wherever you are, as long as you have internet.
True.
That's it. So I very much relate to and understand and empathize with the struggling, burnt out. And like you said, looking at it as an opportunity. The good news is you were born at the right time and you won the lottery in that you've got a fucking smartphone. You're even writing this in a Q&A. You just wrote that. You took the time to write it. You've won the lottery in terms of time and place of being born. If you want to make a change, you could. It's there. And you don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to leave your job. You don't have to. You will have to sacrifice something. Sacrifice time spent with friends or family. Sacrifice time and something. You have to sacrifice sleep. There will be things you have to sacrifice if you want to make this happen. But it's doable. It's there.
Chris joined the mentorship working a full-time job. Didn't even really have the desire at the time to leave his full-time job.
At all. He explicitly said, he's like, I don't want to leave my full-time job. I just want to do this as a side thing.
Built a full roster of one-on-one online coaching clients. And now, maybe we should bleep his last name. I don't know if we should say publicly that he's planning to leave his job.
We'll
bleep his last name. But yeah. And he's moving in that direction.
How many years has he been in the mentorship? Is it 3 years, 4 years?
I believe it's 4.
4 years. I mean, that 4 years.
But he also could have left his job 2 years ago.
Correct. But what I'm saying is it's like, it takes a long time. And not only is it 4 years, it's 4 years of him working insanely hard. And I think he has 3 kids. Does he have three kids, I think?
Just had another one. Uh-huh.
He has 3 kids. And a full-time job, and he's a huge football fan. So, I mean, football season.
Yeah.
He's all that stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but like you said, something was sacrificed.
Yeah.
To grow the business, to write the articles, to make all the social media posts, to help serve his clients. Like, it takes time. But I think for the person who asked this question, I think Jordan laid it out perfectly, which is a perspective shift toward the opportunity that you have to grow a business that you would enjoy more than what you're doing now without leaving your current job, from the comfort of your own home, with this tiny little supercomputer that we all carry around with us.
Bang.
One more rapid fire, and then we got a mentorship Q&A to jump over to.
Easy, simple, effective core workout. I'm reading this as what's a great ab exercise? And it's not easy. I don't like that they ask what's an easy workout. You don't want an easy workout. And that's number one. But what's one of your favorite ab exercises?
Are we saying easy in the sense that you could do it body weight, so you could do it from anywhere?
We could reframe that as easy as accessible. Sure.
Do you want to start? I mean, I can start rattling them off.
I would say I'm a big fan of there are different type of ab movements, so we could do like a isometric, whether it's like a single leg plank or a reaching plank. Really big fan of those. Mm-hmm. If we're also using that same more isometric anti-rotation, big fan of Palloff presses. I really like those a lot. Mm-hmm. I would say I from a more movement based and flexion based, I love leg raises. Mm-hmm. L-sits, leg raises, big fan of those for sure. I really like reverse crunches, huge fan of reverse crunches. I would say cable core rotations are awesome as well. Really big fan of those. Those are a bunch of my favorites.
Me too, brother. Me too. What can I add? A Russian twist is a less equipment intensive way to get very similar rotation. Yeah. I mean, even like other isometrics are coming to mind. Advanced variations of planking, like a long lever plank or like a body saw plank. Even like what do you call it? Pot stirrer plank. If you have an exercise ball and you want to
stir the pot,
plank on that and stir the pot, or draw numbers or draw letters, that's super challenging trying to do that without letting your hips drop, without getting into lumbar extension, but keeping those abs firing. Yeah, you hit, a cable crunch is a good flexion base. I actually don't hate depends on the machine, but just a crunch machine, assuming that it allows you to get a big enough stretch at the top of each rep, which isn't always the case.
Bro, you know what crunch machine I love? I want to buy one of these. I'm not going to because it's just outrageous, but I love the crunch machine where your upper body is stable, but your lower, it's basically a leg raise, but it's sliding. It's on that slider where your knees are on that little pad and it slides up and down. You can do it sideways as well.
Yes.
I fucking love that machine because you can get a huge stretch on the way down and it, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's such a good one.
That is a good machine. Hanging leg raise, hanging knee raise. I actually like hanging knee raises more than hanging leg raises once you've progressed to a certain level, but doing it with straps. What do you even call those? They're not wrist straps. They're straps with the carabiners. So you're not
like their elbow. You put your elbow.
Yeah, they come around your tricep. Yeah. Those are great just because they take the grip strength out of it. They take the fatiguing on your shoulder, on your forearms. And so you can really just focus on your abs. Yeah. There's an incomprehensive but solid list of ab workouts. Not easy, but ab workouts that will work. We got to go. We're out of time. Great episode. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
5-star review. Leave one, please.
Please. Spotify, Apple, anywhere where you're listening to your podcast. Thumbs up, written review, 5 stars. Help us a lot. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
See ya.